I have never been a stay-at-home mom. Well, that's not true. After each of my sons were born, I stayed home for 3 months. So I guess I was a stay-at-home mom for a very short while. Both of my sons were in daycare since they were 3 months old. My children were raised by loving caregivers whose names I never memorized, but I know I thank them daily for caring for my sons. When I told other moms that I worked when my sons were babies, I would get sad looks in response. Or worse, there were statements of, "I'm so sorry for you," or "How sad you couldn't be there for your babies." And many times I was asked, "Weren't you sad that someone else raised your babies?" Or someone would say, "How sad that you missed all of your baby's first milestones." And the one heart-wrenching fear in every working mom's thoughts was always asked, "Weren't you worried your sons would call the babysitter mommy?" And the answers to those questions were yes. Yes, I was sad that I couldn't be the stay-at-home mom I thought I should have been. Yes, I was sad that I couldn't be the mom that scheduled play dates at the park. Yes, I was sad that I couldn't take my own children to the library for story time in the middle of the morning and wearing my cute yoga pants, go to Starbucks with the other stay-at-home moms to celebrate how awesome our babies were, or complain about how the sleep schedules were off for the whole family. But the truth is, I like working, I like my career, and I'm good at what I do. But I felt guilty that I had to work and put them in daycare. My children celebrated all of their firsts at daycare. I provided the snacks and milk, and my son's caregivers and other stay-at-home mom room volunteers celebrated my children's accomplishments. I missed the first time sitting up, first time crawling, first tooth, first time drinking from a sippy cup, first time drinking from a straw, first time crawling, first time pulling themselves up to stand, and yes, even first time walking. My children were so busy learning and growing at daycare. They were learning and growing and meeting their required developmental milestones. And what firsts did I get? First time getting pee in the face while changing diapers. First time getting baby throw up in my hair. First time for a baby screaming meltdown in the car seat during a traffic jam. First time baby got a nighttime fever. First time choking on a random thing found on the floor. And yes, the first time the explosive baby poop diaper in the car seat on the way to work. Those were my firsts. And when I was at work, I would think about their daily schedules. 9 a.m. was snack time, 10 a.m. was reading, 11 a.m. to 1:30 was nap time. I thought about how they were being held, sweetly sung to, and rocked to sleep. I thought about how they would laugh when being read books or playing softly with the other babies in their giant baby room at daycare. When I picked up one son from the room for crawlers, I would walk in the room and be slowly surrounded by babies crawling toward me, crying, reaching for anyone to rescue them from the baby room. Being in a room full of babies crawling toward you certainly makes you freak out and know why zombie movies are so scary. On some days, when I picked up my babies, I was handed a paper titled Incident Report. After reading these incident reports, I quickly realized that daycare was very similar to a secret baby fight club. Sometimes I received phone calls from the daycare that the incidents happened, and these details were mesmerizing. There were baby-on-baby fights, baby-on-baby toy grabbing, baby taking bottles from other babies. There were baby-initiated food fights, and sometimes my babies initiated those food fights. And once a week, there was the room baby biter who was after one of my kids. Daycare was a training ground for life's curveballs, and my sons were definitely learning at daycare. I felt guilty because I was at work and not able to be home with them protecting them. Eventually, I convinced myself this is good for them. My boys were learning how to negotiate other personalities, how to problem solve, learning how to not hit other kids, how to not throw food, or not bite, or not hurt other kids. They were developing their own little personalities, making friends, and just learning and growing. My children were often the first ones at daycare and often the last ones picked up. I missed shift changes for daycare staff, so the morning crew was gone and the afternoon crew was there when I picked up my babies. Communication with the morning crew and the afternoon crew wasn't always smooth, but my babies were always clean, fed, and had a dry diaper and were always smiling. And I worked. I kept working. I loved working. And I still had guilt. My babies grew bigger, they grew into little kids, and eventually they started school. My job changed as my kids got bigger. I got promoted at one job, left one company, started a more demanding position at another company. All the while, my kids were the first ones at daycare and the last ones picked up from daycare. As my children grew and their personalities developed, the incident reports, although fewer, turned into text messages. With this new technology in the palm of my hand, I could be the mom that could do it all. I could receive a quick message from the school secretary about an injury on the playground, or a frantic text if one of my kids was puking in her office. While in the staff meetings, I could swiftly send a text message to the teacher asking about the health status of one child, and with another forbidden text, I could check on homework assignments for another sick child. From the middle of budget meetings, I could arrange pickup and drop off for one kid in sports, and with another text to a fellow parent whose child was on the same team as mine, I could arrange pickup and drop off. I could arrange play dates, rides to Cub Scouts, rides to school sports. I could arrange overnights and other kids' needs. Did my children feel my absence from one of those milestones when they were babies? Probably. I wasn't there cheering them on, but there was a room full of daycare teachers loving them and helping them grow. Now my babies are big kids with some pretty great personalities. They're great at making friends with all types of kids. They have rough days, but they're able to be in a large group, seek out kids, make friends, and make memories. I look at my big kids and realize they don't remember that I wasn't there for their baby milestones. They don't remember the caregivers who cared and loved for them. What matters is that I remember all the love poured into my kids from all the caregivers who were there for them, helping them grow into who they are today. And all of that happened while I was at work.